CCR TV, channel of God's love. A warm welcome to all our viewers on this episode of Activists of Goa. The positive side of social activism in Goa is that it attracts a lot of youth to embrace any social or environmental issue and fight to protect Goa and its interests. One such youngster who entered into the field of social activism at a very young age is Olencio Simoes. He has established himself firmly on the Goan activism field and has a large following too. As the General Secretary of the Goincha Ramponkar Anso Ekvot, Olencio has worked relentlessly to protect the rights of the traditional fishermen in the coastal villages of Goa and is much concerned about their livelihood and the future of our rivers, the mangroves and the coastal villages themselves. He is at present at every rally or agitation where the future of Goa, Goa's environment and Goa's very identity is concerned. Welcome to the studios, Olencio Bob.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Very warm welcome to you and nice to have you here. And we are quite impressed with your style of social activism. To begin with, Olencio, how was your life as a youngster during your growing up years? Which village you came up from?
So basically, I did my schooling in Don Bosco, Panjim, and I was a normal youngster who loved to play sports. Actually, main interest in sports, and subsequently in Saint Xavier's College and then in Chocolate College. But I think kind of certain teachers have groomed me, triggered me into what I am today. Like in the schooling time, it was my late uncle who used to bring up the social issues. Then in college, in Chocolate College, it was Sachin, one sir, a sociology subject. He used to bring this social, political thing. And I think initially I was more into sports and never political or social. Is a kind of a introvert type of a person who never want to mix around with many people. But subsequently, when we lost our uncle, who was kind of a role model to all of us in the family, that was a trigger probably, and through that, then I got in a lot of interest on how the fishing community of Goa, survives, and that's how I entered into social life. Yeah.
So, so to say, while you were in school and then in college only, kind of that temperament for social activism was getting activated in you. Absolutely. Am I right?
Absolutely.
As a youngster.
Yes.
And you already had a role model of your uncle, as you said, late Matani Saldana.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
So, how old were you actually when you joined social activism? Were you a teenager or you had crossed your teens?
I crossed I started at the age of 25.
Okay.
So, where I was appointed as the joint general secretary of the Goincha Ramponkar Anso Ekvot at that time.
I see.
So, I was learning under my president, that is Agnello Rodriguez, understanding how fishing takes place, what are the problems, how the environment has been affected. And through that, I gained a lot of interest.
I see.
And they were fortunate enough that I took more interest. And then subsequently, I rise to the level of General Secretary. And then to the national level and national physical.
But म्हाका एक सांग, तुवें म्हणलें 25 years आसतना तूं social activism आयलोय भितर and तूं directly was groomed and taken up as the joint secretary. Goincha Ramponkar. That is the age of a youngster like you to begin your career. In whatever chosen profession that you are going to take your career, jump ahead. So, तुझ्या घरच्यांचो तुका तेंको मेवलो तेन्ना as to join social activism, although you had a pillar in your family as a social activist in the late Mathani.
Yeah, no, actually, खरें सांगपाचें की my family disagreed to,
Initially, at that age of 25 years.
So you have to be focused. काम करपा जाय, job घेवपा जाय,
Oi.
काजार जावपा जाय.
This is what I want to know from you.
So this was initially my dad also was, very reluctant, saying, I think you should focus more on your career. And ते आशिल्लें. But some way or another, that was not my, interest at that time. I don't know, I can say divine intervention. But I started focusing more on this than myself.
Okay.
And that eventually helped us a lot in the future. And because it is very difficult to leave yourself from your comfort and come out and help someone else.
Fight for somebody else.
And I think in the long run, there is a kind of a happiness that, you have done something to the society. I remember my uncle used to always say, you have to live after your death.
Yeah.
So you have to do something today which will benefit for tomorrow and remembered for the future.
Absolutely.
So,
after you're dead and gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
because generally we study hard and then we go to a profession, make a lot of money. Then at the very end of our life, we think of doing something.
Yes.
So that becomes also too late. So why not start early? You can go and do social work. You can do your simultaneous business also, and you can have a happy life too. But we don't have that encouragement as such at that initial time, which somewhere I think now is lacking, and today's youth are more towards.
So at the end of the day, what you only got to do is balance the equation between your profession and your activism and your family, perhaps something. Am I right? This is what you want to say, perhaps?
Not initially, but
later. So as I was saying, now I see you as a social activist. I see you as a very active politician and a very ambitious politician too, okay, if I may say so. Now, what is your actual profession, if I may ask you?
Well, I said
Olencio.
Since I kept changing my track.
Yes.
Because of the responsibility which I had to, I used to teach first in St. Andrew's School in Moscow.
I see.
Yeah. Subsequently, then before that, I was also in the forest department working. I was working in the forest department, in the accounts department. Then subsequently, I went to teaching. Then I had to quit that and come into full time of.
So you quit your job in the forest department. You quit your job as a teacher also.
Teacher also. And then I had to go full time for this activism.
You didn't find that comfort zone as a teacher to continue your activism, because teachers generally have half the session, free for them, afternoon session.
Since I was a physical education teacher.
Oh, I see.
So I didn't have that liberty.
Yes.
So I could not have less time for them as a teacher and more to hear. So I had to decide between one.
And so you stuck your thing to the social activism. You were firm about it. Maka ek sang Olencio भाऊ, एक social activist जाल्ल्यान, आता तुम्ही राजकीय मोडार आसात, नॅशनल पार्टीचे तुम्ही मेंबर, व्हेरी एक्टिव्ह मेंबर, वेता थी तुम्ही आसातूच सगळ्या एक्टिविटीनी, जाल्यार एक सोशल एक्टिविस्ट जाल्ल्यान राजकीय मोडार तुमकां कितें तरी सोंपेपणां मेवल्यान विथ दीस बॅकग्रावंड ऑफ सोशल एक्टिविजम, बिकॉज सोशल एक्टिविस्ट म्हणल्यार दे कम इन द पब्लीक आय.
See, I have worked for the last 10 to 11 years. So I have built my social repo. Not that I needed a political party to build my.
You had already built your repo as a social activist.
So for me, it doesn't make a difference. I am not a politician by profession. I am, you can say, a forced politician.
You're a forced politician.
Because by.
You mean it?
Yeah, I mean it. Because initially, I was never into politics. And it was my people who forced me, convinced me for almost more than a year.
I see.
To enter into politics, because we've seen that you will do a change, because we've seen some of the things.
So you didn't come into politics with a plan of your own?
No, definitely not.
It was perhaps forced onto you. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you happy about it now?
I have no regret. But now, since I've entered into full-time, politics,
Yeah.
there is still a lot to do. And what I feel is now that activism, as such, will not save the state.
Okay.
Because initially the activism was a different level.
Whereas now
it is not, because initially when there was activism, government would listen to the voices of the dissent. Today the voices of the dissent is not been listened. Only all that we get in reward is cases against us.
I see.
There is no solution to the problem, nor the government is ready to listen to the solution. The opposition is systematically, eroded from this system, which is not good.
Okay.
And I think politics now plays a very important role for every citizen of the state. If we call ourselves apolitical, and if we say politics is a dirty subject to talk on, then I'm sorry, we will all sink in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olencio, tell me something. You have contested political elections at Zilla Parishad level, ZP. You have contested the assembly election. Maybe you have not tasted success.
Yeah.
Perhaps the voters felt you are not ready to go to that level. Supposing फुडाराक तुवें कॉन्टेस्ट केलें आनी तूं निवडून आयलोय MLA म्हणून, जाल्यार तुका दिसना तुजो सोशल एक्टिविजम करपाचो नेट, जें तुजे आंगान जो नेट आसा, फोर्स आसा, तो कांय कारणांक लागून कमी पडटलो म्हणून? There will be a kind of a little difference, because as a politician it's a full-time job, more responsibilities of the entire assembly and all.
म्हाका दिसना कित्याक थोडे लोक म्हणटात तूं एक्टिविस्ट आहा जाल्यार तूं पॉलिटिशियन कसो जावपाक शकता, तूं दोनूय रोल खेळपाक शकना. म्हाका दिसता हें एक जें पळय रॉंग चिंतप पळय आहा, कित्याक टुडेज परसेप्शन ऑफ पॉलिटिशियन इज रॉंग, is that always doing the bad things, and activist is always doing the good thing. But why can't a politician do a good thing is my question.
Okay.
So if I am clean in my intention and in my vision for my constituency or for Goa, then how is that I can be stopped? So if my party agrees to what are my demands, and if I am standing only for my demands, then I don't think I have a problem. But if I have a compromised man, if I have intention to do for my self-interest or to gain power, then definitely I will compromise.
So you mean to say politics and social activism can go hand in hand?
Absolutely.
Provided you have a clean intention as a politician?
Absolutely.
And you don't have any other ulterior motives?
Absolutely. Goa had good politicians. Dr. Jack Sikara, because of him, today's Goa is Goa.
Now tell me something. I'll interrupt you here. You said you can balance both the things together efficiently. Now, what do the masses look at you today? They look at you as a politician, or they look at you as a social activist?
I think they look at me as social activist, because unfortunately, as I said, the narrative of a politician is corrupt. First image is created then. So, but I really want to change this kind of a perception, especially among youngsters.
And bring a change.
Bring a change. That is what I stand for. Because I am not in politics to earn my bread and butter. I am in politics to make a change for today and for tomorrow. So that is my ulterior motive of entering into politics, and I am hopeful that if the support of people will realize sooner or later that I am the ideal person for the probably the next upcoming election.
To represent them. At the assembly.
Because, see, there are people, I have not stopped. I have lost ZP, I have lost 2017, I have lost 22. I have not stopped what I am doing. But
so that perseverance is there.
It's still firm.
And you're building up your...
And building it up. But there are other people who only wake up during elections. So the intentions are very clear. No? So this is what we want. We stand for something, and that objective has to be attained.
Are you happy at what level you are now in the field of social activism, as well as the space that you are given in the party?
See, as an activist, as I said, that we have achieved a lot for the last 10, 11 years. A lot of agitation has been fought in the past. We have gone to the courts. We have got good orders. We have made changes also into society, like projects like LED light protest.
Yes.
We had a big protest in Goa where the ban of LED light was formed in Goa first. Subsequently, it went all over India. Besides that, the mechanized beach cleaning which was proposed at that time by Dilip Pollikar, that was then halted. Blue flag certification which was planned in all beaches. That is all. So like this, we have been successful, but as early now, it is getting difficult. I'm feeling it's getting difficult. I'm disappointed because government is not ready to listen for even slightest change to do. Now, for example, our coal, Goa has been made a coal hub, where Goa does not benefit from that coal. So why bring coal in Goa? Why destroy the synthetic?
This has always been your stand.
Yeah.
Ever since you have joined this group for no coal, this has been your stand that Goa is not consuming coal to that extent. It's going to the other state. Why it is routed through our state?
Absolutely.
गोंयच्या रांपोणकाराचो एकवट हे संस्थेन तुवें जायतो वावर केलाय आनी आमच्या ह्या पारंपारीक ट्रेडिशनल रांपोणकारा पासत तूं तांच्या वांगडाच आसाय तांचे प्रश्न सुटावे करताय थोड्याच उतरां मदें मातसो उजवाड घालशी ह्या तुज्या वावराचेर कित्याक आमचे गोंयचे ट्रेडिशनल रांपोणकार हे आमचे बावते एंड वी जस्ट कॅनॉट ओवरलूक देयर एक्टिविटी.
एब्सोल्युटली. आतां आमी कोवीड टायमाचेर पळयलां जेन्ना आख्खो संवसार बंद
पडलेलो
आनी सगल्यांचे जे काम आशिल्लें प्रोफेशन आशिल्लें तेंय बंद पडलें सारकें. सो वॉट हॅपन एट दॅट टायम एवरीवन केम बॅक टू देयर ग्रासरूट. शेतकार शेतान पावलो, भायर नुस्तेकार आशिल्लो तो परत दोरयान पावलो आनी न्हंयेन पावलो. आतां जालां कितें की आयज आमचो दोर्यो आनी न्हंयो विकपाक काडला. आतां आमचे इनलँड वॉटरवेज ऑथॉरिटी 1985 एक्ट आशिल्लो तो एमेंड केलो, नॅशनल वॉटरवेज एक्ट 2016 पास केलो, जे आमचे 6 रिवर गोंयच्यो आहा ते प्रायवेटायज केले, नॅशनलायज करून उडयले. तशें करून आयज दोर्यो जो आसा अंडर द पोर्ट मेजर पोर्ट ट्रस्ट 1963 गवर्न करताले, आयज मेजर पोर्ट ऑथॉरिटी बिल 2022 पास जाला. सो थिंगा आसा ती प्रायवेटायज केली. म्हळ्यार कितें आयज ते कितें म्हणटा पोर्ट की आख्खो दोर्यो तेंचो, इन्क्लुडींग फ्रॉम द हाय टायड लँड अप टू 40 to 50 yards. सो आयज हे जे पारंपारीक नुस्तेकार पळय आसा, नॉट फ्रॉम नाव, रायट फ्रॉम बिफोर इवन द बायबल, how can we displace them? Displacing them means what to us? First is that means we are certain that the environment, coastal environment is degrading, and eventually the consequences we are going to face, because if we have seen now Sagarmala poi project poi ya sarkaran poi चालू केला की पोर्ट लेड इंडस्ट्रियलायझेशन, पोर्ट लेड डेव्हलपमेंट पळय करपाक. जे माल पळय आसा पयलीं तो ट्रेनान येतालो नाल्यार रस्त्यान येतालो, आयज सगळो माल आहा तो दोर्यान आनी न्हंयेन व्हरपाचो इनलँड वॉटरवेज प्लॅन केलेलो सरकारान. पूण हेजो इम्पॅक्ट कितें? आतां वी हॅव सीन इन वास्को फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आमकां वी हॅव दीस नॅविगेशन चॅनल आनी ड्रेजिंग करता वर्साची वर्सा 3 million 5 million वर्साचे एन्युअल मेंटेनन्स जाता ड्रेजिंग. पयलीं खारेवाडो बीच, आय थिंक यू मस्ट बी वेल अवेअर, कितली लांबायन आशिल्ली, आयज ती बीच खंय पावली. आयज गोंयची बिचीस इरोड जायत वयता, ती कित्याक लागून वता? ऑल दीस स्टडी द गव्हर्मेंट हॅज नॉट डन, बट गव्हर्मेंट इज प्लॅनिंग टू एक्सपांड द पोर्ट नाव. इन खारेवाडा देर आर Jetty's expansion plan, then POL berth asa, then satellite berth is another, satellite port is in Betul is another pipeline project. So whether these projects are going to displace our fishermen or not is a question. How will the fish survive when there is so much of disturbance in the ocean is also another question. Global warming is another question. There is sea level, sea temperature rise. सी टेम्परेचर रायज जाता, ओशन रायज जाता. सो हे सगळे हेजेर टायमाचेर सरकारान चिंतपा जाय की आमचे माणकुले गोंया भितर हे जे ट्रेडिशनल लोक जे आसा ते कोणूय आसूं, ते फिशरमॅन आसूं, रेंजर आसूं नाल्यार शेतकार आसूं,
They should not be hit.
they should not be hit and they have to be protected at any cost
To continue
to
their
continue their
traditional
traditional
livelihood.
activities.
एक सांग म्हाका, तूं म्हणटाना म्हाका बरो उगडास आयलो. You are supporting the traditional fishermen for their rights and their livelihood, whatever that they are doing. On the other side of it, you are also against and you are opposing this LED fishing, high-speed trawlers, and what is called as bull trawlers, bull this thing, trawling,
yes.
bull trawling. Now, आता तूं म्हाका सांगशी कित्या पासत तूं हांचेर झुजताय, आड झुजताय? कारण these are technological advancements. Let our viewers know what exactly is the negative impact of bull trawling, high-speed trawling, and तुझे LED
Yes.
fishing.
See, in fact,
Let the common man know.
absolutely. In fact, in 2016, all the fishing community of Goa, that is the traditional as well as the mechanized, came together and decided that this is one kind of fishing, that is LED light fishing, which have huge impact on the fish production in our state.
Fish breeding, you
Fish
mean?
breeding and production. कित्याक जेन्ना आमी जुवेनाइल फिश पळय मारता
होय.
आणि एक्सेसिव्ह फिशिंग करता, आता कितें जाता LED लायट फिशिंगाचेर इनिशियली दे यूज्ड टू यूज 5 kV ऑफ जनरेटर एंड LED बल्ब घालतले दोऱ्या भितर.
Okay.
आणि रातचें पळय नुस्तें जेन्ना नॉन एक्टिव्ह कशें आसता,
Yes. Dormant असतात.
डॉर्मंट आसता, ते चावून ते लायटी कडेन येवप.
Okay.
फोडपान पळय नुस्तें आहा ते जेन्ना नोबडी इज टू इवन गो टू फिश देर ते
लायटी
जावन
कडेन.
भायर येवप.
I see.
बॉटम फिश पळय केन्ना भायर येनासलें तें भायर येवप. Certain fishermen have never seen a fish of that much size also because LED light fishing they have seen.
Okay.
So much destruction, and now we have reached to 70 kV of generator. Imagine 70
so
kV.
the illumination will be much
Illumination is
bigger
huge.
and wider.
That's why we all jointly planned a protest, and government listened to us. Law was formed. Subsequently, it was banned all over India, and now in the entire EZ, in territorial water, and up to 200 nautical miles.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the government has still not been acting. And if you ask today a trawler owner, he will not speak openly. But if you tell him, if you ask him on a light or not, will LED light fishing survive your business for another decade? He will say no. Now what has happened? Since the government is not acting, all are forced to use LED light fishing.
I see.
सो बिकॉज तेंचे मानाय कितें म्हणटा की बाबा आमकां लायट मेळना, आमकां कॅच मेळना, तो हा तो लायट यूज करता आनी चड तेका फिश कॅच मेळता आनी आमकां कांय मेळना, आमकां प्रॉफिटेबल मेळना कित्याक दॅट बिजनस इज मोस्टली इन शेअरिंग बेसीस. सो दॅट्स वाय दे आर देन डिमांडिंग द ओनर टू पुट LED.
So this is your concern
Yes.
against the LED fishing.
Absolutely. And this technology is used in other countries.
Okay.
But they have limitation for catch. There is no unlimited catch. They are supposed to, if you eat mackerel this much size, this much ton, season over.
So as per your version, if you say this LED fishing is causing this kind of a thing and all the fishes are attracted, the sustainability of fishing industry in future is at stake.
That's why today if you see, we have shifted from wild fisheries to culture fisheries. If you see, initially the subsidies were always for the fishermen. Today the subsidies which the fisheries department are advertising, if you see minutely, is all cage fishing. Sogle cage fishing asa.
Okay.
No subsidies for this thing. Why? Because that catch has been dropping, and now we are going to do all cage fishing. म्हणजे पोसलेले नुस्तें आमकां फ्युचराक गोंयकारांक आसतलें खावपाक, आनी जे फीड पळय आसा तो फीड पळय आमी घालता ते आर्टिफिशियल फीड. सो विच मीन द हेल्थ ऑल्सो वॉट द फ्रेशनेस ऑफ द फिश टुडे दॅट सेम फिश विल बी पॉयझनस फॉर अस.
They are not having natural food from the ocean.
चिकना भशेन चिकन बॉयलर चिकन ना तशें नुस्तें जातलें.
म्हाका एक सांग, coming to the next point in Goa at least, on the tourism Jetty policy 2022, ताचेरूय तुवें तुजो आवाज उठयलेलो. and the inland waterway jetties पे बांधपाचे आसता. What exactly do you want to achieve by opposing this thing? Why is your opposition to this?
See, first of all, the 6 rivers have been nationalized.
Yes.
Okay. Now, these 12 jetties have been planned under the Sagarmala project. So, once this jetty is been constructed, this jetty, the state has no control. The control.
So, what is your fear?
My big fear is that these jetties will be eventually given to a private player.
Okay.
For coal or for container transportation, because this is the objective of Sagarmala. That's why rivers have been nationalized, and very clearly the act says that these rivers are going to use only for transportation. So, not for tourism.
Transportation of merchandise, you mean to say. It is not for tourism.
It is not for tourism.
Have you done a detailed study on this?
Absolutely. We have done detailed study. In fact, Goa Against Coal was formed. आम्ही सगळे विलेजांनी पंचायतीन वचोन आमकां नॅशनलायजेशन ऑफ रिवर नाका
रेजोल्यूशन
पास केल्लें, आमकां कोल एक्सपान्शन नाका पास केल्लें. सो सरकार जो आसा, इनफॅक्ट मनोहर पर्रीकर ऑल्सो हॅड that time planned to sign an MOU to keep in control with us.
Okay.
But I don't know where is that MOU reached and what is the status of it. But unfortunately, our government is not realizing. आमकां एक लॉलीपॉप दाखयता आनी आतां फॉर एग्जांपल इन खारेवाडो आमचे बोटकार आशिल्ले तांकां जाय आशिल्ली जेटी. सो सरकारान MPTन प्लॅन केल्लें की आमी फिंगर जेटी ओपन करतले. That will be shifted and brought here. In addition to that, there was fuel jetty, there were other expansion jetties. म्हटल्यार कितें आमकां बारीक लॉलीपॉप दाखोवप आनी आख्खो गांव आतां सोंपोवपाक हो प्लॅन सारको.
म्हाका एक सांग Olencio Bob, since you said you have done study on this issue of the jetty that are being constructed under the Sagarmala, तर आतां दुसरें वचन पळयल्यार न्ही, समज तर inland waterways आसा थिंचोर jetties बांदल्यो, will it not be beneficial for inland waterland transportation of people? Yeah. Because in southern states and all, like Kerala and all, there is a very strong and vibrant parallel transportation system of passengers through inland. And amche the noyo je asat, they are well connected north and south. आमच्या रस्त्याचेर कितले येरादारी वाडल्या, accident जातात. Don't you think the pressure on the roads will be much less if you open up the waterways, inland waterways, transportation?
If the government intention is...
I'm not talking about the cargo merchandise.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If the government intention is right, then they had said that they will get this high-speed ferry.
Yes.
Why? Where is it still dead? आता फेरी पॉइंट सगळ्याक आसा गोंयांत. इनलँड वॉटरवेज ना म्हणना, ट्रान्सपोर्टेशन ना म्हणना. आमची वास्कोच्यान दोनापाल येताली बोट पयली वन्स अपॉन अ टायम, तो कोणास आसतलें.
येस, बाफोर तो.
हय, ती बंद कित्याक जाली, ती चालू करा मरे. सो जेटीज सगळ्याक आसा, ती जेटी अपग्रेड करा. ती जी पळय फेरी पॉइंट्स पळय आसा ती अपग्रेड करा. नो गेट हाय स्पीड जेटीज, यूज दीस. बट सरकार यूज करना. थिंगा फेरी पॉइंट आहा ती अपग्रेड करना, या फिशिंग जेटी आहा ती अपग्रेड करना. पूण आनी खंय बोलत्यात खंय बांदता आनी बोलत्याक बांदता बोलत्याक मनशाकूच दिवपाक. आनी आमकां सांगता ना बाबा हे पॅसेंजराक लागून, हे ट्युरिजमाक लागून, ह्या फिशरीजाक लागून.
आतां म्हाका एक सांग, गोवा इज अ इंटरनॅशनल ट्युरिजम स्टेट, वी आर वर्ल्ड फेमस. जाल्यार हांगासर एक मरिना आसचो टू अपग्रेड आवर ट्युरिजम फॅसिलिटी, इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर, अशें तुका दिसना? हाचेर तुजें मत कितें?
पळय, वी आर नॉट अगेन्स्ट डेव्हलपमेंट which will generate revenue, especially in tourism, I'll tell you.
Yes. Generate revenue as well as employment opportunities.
First, general, and there has to not be displacement.
Your main concern is about displacement. That we understand.
आता मरीना जेन्ना सरकारान प्लॅन केल्लो, तो एक गांवान धाकटे गांवान कांकरान प्लॅन केल्लो. आता ती एरिया मरीन इकॉलॉजिकल हॉटस्पॉट एरिया, ती एक फिशिंग विलेज. थिंगा बारीक पारंपरीक नुस्तेकार आसा, जे म्हाका दिसता गोंयान द मोस्ट ट्रेडिशनल फॉर्म ऑफ फिशिंग इज डन इन दॅट एरिया. आमी कितें आमी ऑल्टरनेटीव दिल्ले. मरीना तुका हाडपा जाय, MPTन हाडा. MPT कितलोच जागोत आसा, तिंगा करा. तुमी मरीना सांगता हाय एंड ट्युरिजम हाडपाक सोदता, पण तुमची फॅसिलिटीच ना. वी हॅड गिवन ऑप्शन दॅट यू कम इन खारेवाडा ऑल्सो, वी आर रेडी टू गिव यू मरीना. पण तुम्ही ना तुम्ही यू वॉन्ट टू कम टू अ प्लेस वेर देर इज by highest biodiversity. NIA report सांगता that is a marine hotspot area. So this is the problem of government. कितें आसा न्हू, जेन्ना केन्ना प्रपोजल हाडटा खंयच्या गांवान पयले लोकांक सांगना, एक्सप्लेन करना आनी मागीर लोकांक कन्फ्युजनान घालता. सो लोक पळय आसा तो इंटेंशन हेजो मरिना आहा या मरिनाच्या नांवार आनी कितें एक्सपान्शन हाडपाचें आहा. कित्याक तो जेन्ना मरिना हाडटा तेका एक नॅविगेशन चॅनल आसता, तेका ड्रेजिंग करचें पडटा, मग परत ती बीच आनी एरोड जातली, ते दुसरी एरिया बीच एरोड जातली. सो ऑल दीस थिंग गव्हर्मेंट हॅज टू सी, you know.
So in other words, you want to say whatever projects that the government is intending to bring in,
talk with the
it's
stakeholders.
not giving the clear picture
Not
to
giving
the,
yeah.
and that is why then activism
Then
has to come in.
When you get the stakeholders,
Take them into confidence.
Then I'm telling you, there'll be better solution, better than marina. There'll be more better solution. Tourism going to go to a different level. Economy of the state will go to a different level. But government don't want to do it.
I'm coming back to your, Ramphonkarचे issue, like, kind of. आता CRZ एरियान जी आमची पारंपरीक नुस्तेकारांची धाकटी घरां आसात, and धाकट्यो खोमट्यो आसात, which are, that for them, to carry on the activity, to keep their boats, their equipment, things like that. आता ही रेग्युलरायज करपाक तुम्ही कसली पावलां उबारल्यात?
पळय, एज पर द CRZ नोटिफिकेशन पळय आसा न्ही, ती जी 1991 फॉर्म जाल्लो, तो कित्याक फॉर्म जाल्लो? कोस्टल इकॉलॉजी आनी कोस्टल ड्युअलर्सांक प्रोटेक्ट करपाक. आतां 2011 नोटिफिकेशन कितें सांगतालें, जी घरां रेग्युलायज जावं ना प्रायर टू 1991 बी जावपाक जाय आशिल्ली ती रेग्युलायज करची म्हणून. आनी unfortunately the government has not regularized the fishermen houses. We have seen in Baina demolition जाल्लें, खारेवाडो जाल्लो. पूण अनऑथरायज्ड बिल हाडून जे घरां ती रेग्युलायज करपाक रेडी आसा, पूण जे पारंपरीक जे हे आहा लोकांक तांकां रेग्युलायज करप, इवन आफ्टर द एक्ट इज देयर. नाव सी, लेटेस्ट देर इज बीन इन नोटिफिकेशन बाय द लँड बाय द Department of Land Revenue, where railway, they saying 1968 पयली सर्वे जाल्ली, पूण त्या सर्वेन ते कितें म्हणटा की रेल्वे आशिल्ले पूण रेल्वेक आमी 114 फॉर्म ती दिवंक ना. आतां नोटिफिकेशन काडला परत, तांकां परत रिसर्वे करतले हूंय ते, एंड एज पर देयर ऑपरेशनल यूज तांकां हूंय सर्वे नंबर दितलो.
फॉर्म 114 आता कोत्तले.
जोरी तूं हांकां करपाक शकता जाल्यार जे पारंपरीक नुस्तेकार जे आसा फॉर सेंचुरीज लिव्हिंग इन द कोस्टल एरिया, तांकां तूं कित्याक करपाक कित्याक करना? मग तुम्ही फकत हे व्हडले प्रायव्हेट प्रोजेक्ट हाडून, आयज ट्रॅक आसा तो अदानीचो, कोल आसा तो अदानीचो, ट्रेन आसा तो अदानीचो, तेका तुम्ही सगळें करपाक दिता आनी बारीक पारंपरीक जे समाजाचे लोक आसा तांकां तूं कांयच अमेंडमेंट हाडपाक सोदना. सो दॅट मीन्स गव्हर्मेंट इफ हॅव द वील has no other way to do it, but they don't have the will to support our fellow Goan, traditional Goan people. So this is the irony.
While discussing about the CRZ thing, recently we have heard a lot of discussion taking place after the assembly session that North Goa tourism belt जो आसा थिंगासोरी कितलीच बेकायदेशीर हॉटेलां चालू आसतात with no proper registration, no proper documentation. And here आता सामकें स्पष्ट जालां, even figures were out, that there is nothing that is without documentation as far as hotels, but they are functioning, they are operating. Hacher, as an activist, what is your say on this and what action are you contemplating?
In fact, with respect to CRZ violation in our coastal areas, we have taken several issues about hotel. आता कितें जाता पळय, हॉटेलाक आयज परमिशन मेळपाक न्हू डिपार्टमेंट ओवरनायट तांकां परमिशन दिता, बट जेन्ना एक लोकल विलेजर एक आपणाचें घर बांदपाक सोदता आनी CRZची परमिशन घेवपाक जाता, CRZ ताका परमिशन दिना, ताका नासयत रावता.
ओके.
सो आमचें कितें जालां न्हू, एक सिस्टम पळय आसा ती एक ना गोंयांत. म्हळ्यार जाला कितें, एक जंगल राज जाला, कोणाक पयशे पावोवपाचे आनी तूं जाय ते यू डू वॉट एवर यू वॉन्ट. एंड इवन वी हॅव सीन इन द NJT Pune, we have a branch. There, 70% of our cases are from Goa. It is Gujarat, Goa, Maharashtra. 70% for Goa. What happens? For 4 years, and NGT is defunct. We had to go to Delhi.
Correct.
Now it is again. So this kind of attitude, is not good. And especially when the ocean is rising, now at CRZ actually 500 meter. आयज 50 मीटर आहे सरकारान काढलेली आसा. 50 मिटरा भितर आयज कोस्टल रोड सागर मला सगळे बांदपा आता तुका आनी तेका CRZ लागना. म्हणल्यार आयज ट्युरिजम पावतले उरतले न्ही खंय. जेन्ना 50 मिटरान सगळे हे पोर्ट एक्सपान्शन प्लॅन येतले आनी पोर्ट हाको कॅप्चर करतलो, ट्युरिजम आनी गोंयान उरतली खंय. सो ह्या सरकारान आयज चिंतपा जाय की ते कितें करता ते रॉंग आसा. एंड विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू इलिगॅलिटीज there is no compromise on it. What is wrong is wrong.
जेन्ना तुम्ही ह्या विशयाचेर तुमचो आवाज उठयतात एट द एप्रोप्रिएट फोरम, तेन्ना सरकार तुमकां लक्ष दिता?
ना, म्हाका दिसना. कित्याक आमी जायते मेमोरंडम पावयता, जायते आमी प्रेस कॉन्फरन्स घेता, जायते प्रोटेस्ट आमी करता. सरकार इज नॉट प्रोएक्टीव. म्हाका दिसता खरो सरकार आसा जो आमचो हायकोर्ट आनी NGT ह्या सुप्रीम कोर्ट. इट इज अनफॉर्च्युनेट which government will have first for the people, by the people.
So the only relief you get for such thing is from the judicial.
Even COVID time to go for a lockdown, we had to go to the court. So अशें आसा जाल्यार, इतले डिस्कनेक्ट आसा जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता it is a very bad situation.
Olencio, I want to shift your focus from the state of Goa to the national level. As an activist, you are also making an impact at the national level. You are the member of the National Fish Workers Forum. Am I right?
Yes.
Then what exactly is this forum doing as far as the state level, fishing activities concerned?
Yeah. See, actually,
is it a national body and kind of an umbrella organization?
Yeah.
For all the states, including Goa?
Yes. So basically,
and what is your role in that?
Yeah. So basically, I am now the General Secretary of the National Fish Workers Forum.
I see.
Also, and we represent all 12 coastal states of this country. Now, if you see the overall country situation, in fact, very recently, the new bills have been passed in the Parliament. That is the Wildlife Protection Act, Forest Conservation Act, Biodiversity Act, मागीर कोस्टल एक्वाकल्चर बिल पास केलेले आसा. तशें करून जायते बिल जे आसा ते पास करता सरकार विदाउट एनी डिस्कशन, विदाउट कॉलिंग द स्टेक होल्डर्स. कांयच ना. आयज इन द नेम ऑफ इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर यू कॅन बिल्ड एनीथिंग इन फॉरेस्ट. You can sell you can now also now another proposal is come that you can now sell the ocean also. सो अशें करून हे जे पळय कायदे पळय वयरसान येता, सेंट्रल एक्टान येता, ते म्हाका दिसता आख्खे इंडियान हे आयज विकपाचे प्लॅन केलेले आसा. एक सायड सायंटिस्ट म्हणटा की इन 11,000 years normally a global temperature was only 1 degree rise.
Okay.
Now we're heading towards 2 degree. And because of that, the United Nations for Climate Change, COP27 पळय इजिप्टान पळय जाल्लें, they have approved geoengineering basically to arrest carbon dioxide, excess carbon dioxide from the ocean. आता कितें जाता, जेन्ना आमी झाडां कातरीत वयता, कार्बन डायऑक्साइड पळय आसा ती ओशन एब्जॉर्व करता. एंड बिकॉज ओशन इज एब्जॉर्विंग द कार्बन डायऑक्साइड, हीट, ओशन टेम्परेचर वाडटा, सायक्लोन, पावस पळय तो फ्रिक्वेन्सी वाडटा. सो ते अरेस्ट करपाक आमी जिओ इंजिनियरिंग म्हळ्यार द सिट्युएशन, लुक एट द सिट्युएशन हाऊ बॅड इट इज. And government in terms of environment is diluting from forest to biodiversity, from fisheries to all environmental laws have been diluted in such a way that we've seen the destruction in all states today. In Himachal, from Himachal to Uttarakhand to everywhere, you've seen the rains,
the floods and everything.
But there is no even empathy or no even understanding that why this is happening, what to do to stop.
So in other words, Mother Nature is getting back at us.
Getting back at us. And if you don't do, if you are not stopping this kind of dilution or this mega project which the government is planning, I think we'll all land into this kind of a mega destruction.
आता म्हाका एक सांग, as far as the fishing activities गोंयांत नुस्त्याचें उत्पादन तर बरें आसा. We are rich in the fish, this thing in Goa production. तोरी गोंयकारांक म्हारगायेचें नुस्तें विकतें घेवचें पडटा. हाचें कारण कितें? Is the fish export component is actually to be blamed for this?
आतां कितें जाता न्हू, जेन्ना एक फिशरमॅन दर्यान वता, मे बी अ कॅनो ऑर अ बोट, जेन्ना तो येता तोडेक, ताका ही नुस्तें पळय आहा पयलें तेणेन स्टोर करचें पडटा. ताका बेजीक कितें जाय, आयस जाय, स्टोर करपाक स्टोरेज एरिया जाय,
कूलिंग फॅसिलिटी.
सो जेन्ना हे दोनूय ना तेन्ना कितें जाता, एजंट येता आनी सपोज नुस्त्याचो रेट मार्केटीन आसा 500 रुपया, तो कितें म्हणटा, तो त्या नुस्तेकाराक ब्लॅकमेल करता, पळय आयस ना आनी तुजे कडेन कांय ना, सो म्हाका नुस्तें 200 रुपयांक दी. हो एजंट कितें करता, हो एजंट हा तो फर्स्ट क्वॉलिटी माल पळय आहा तो पयलो एक्सपोर्ट करता. सो हे मेकनिजमूच ना कंट्रोल करपाक. सो जेन्ना फिशरमॅन इज फोर्स्ड टू गिव दॅट फिश टू दॅट एजंट बिकॉज ही हॅज नो ऑप्शन. After working hard into the sea, especially when the fish catch is reducing, the expenditure of the voyage is increasing, he is forced to give to that agent.
There is no regulatory authority to keep a control on all this.
Kind system na, Goyan fisheries and kind system na.
So in this case, who's at the receiving end is the fisherman himself and the consumer. And the consumer.
आता थोडे लोक कितें
So who's benefiting is the middleman.
Is the middleman. आता थोडे लोक they have a negative perception. हे फिशरमॅनाक भरपूर सबसिडी मेळटा. हे रॉंग, हे चुकीचें आसा. जो मॅक्सिमम मनीस पळय आसा ती सबसिडी इज फॉर देर ट्रॅव्हलर, फॉर देर पेट्रोल, तांकां तेंय मेळना जाल्यार ते काबार. पूण जो मॅक्सिमम पळय डॅमेज पळय मनीस आहा तो एक फिशरमॅन एंड इज एट द एंड कंज्युमर. नाव इफ यू वॉन्ट टू स्टॉप दीस, द गव्हर्मेंट हॅज टू इंटरवीन अँड कंट्रोल दीस मार्केट. लायक हॉर्टिकल्चर कशें येयलेलें आसा, जे द प्रायसीस हॅव बीन कंट्रोल. सेम सिस्टम यूज इन फिशरीज.
जर तूं हाचेर कितें फुडाराक कितें तरी कारवाय करपाचो आसा?
Absolutely, because somewhere or another Goan should get
a beginning has to be made somewhere.
Has to made. Today Goan cannot afford a fish.
Exactly.
I'm telling myself also, I also cannot afford certain fish. But if the government intervenes, I'm sure that every fish a Goan will enjoy.
You just spoke about the facilities of icing, cooling and things like that. Infrastructure ना, देखून तो एजंट येता, मदे मिडलमॅन येता आनी घेवन वता. म्हाका एक सांग, have you worked towards setting up any fish canning industries or fish meal plants in the state, coastal villages? Because there's lot of fish and then the exporters come in.
Yeah.
The agents come in. So this will actually, improve the activity of the fishermen,
yes,
economic upgradation of his.
Yeah. So what has happened is, unfortunately, we have been always into an activism mode.
Because this na ki along the coastal villages, we have to set up kind of fish canning industry.
Yes. Very
Why doesn't the government think about it?
In fact, the government should initiate this.
Exactly.
But on our own, when we wanted to initiate it, we had lot
Can't you form a cooperative and do it?
Yeah, we had lot of initial problem was the land. Land पळय आसा तो एक very scarce आसा आनी तुका आमकां मेवना. आतां एक फिशरीज डिपार्टमेंट फॉर एक्झाम्पल कोलवा एक लँड आसा बरी व्हडली. If fisheries department can give it to us, then definitely we can do. They are also not doing anything and they don't want to give us also. Now fisheries department can do a lot of things, like you said, canning, export,
fish meal plant,
ice plant करपा जाता, पण fisheries department ह्या सरकार कांयच करना. फकत ती डिपार्टमेंट हांगा बसता आनी सॅलरी घेता आनी वता, अशें जालेलें आसा.
ओलेन्सियो बाब, तूं जायतेच कडेन तुजी सोशल एक्टिविजम करताय आनी ती दुसरी म्हणल्यार हॉट सामकें बर्निंग टॉपीक आयचो म्हणल्यार डबल ट्रॅकिंगाचो. आनी गोंयचो एकवट हांच्या पालवान तूं ह्या डबल ट्रॅकिंग जें जाता ताचेरूय तुवें एक झूज मांडलें. आमकां तोडक्यान सांग, हें झूज केन्ना सोंपतलें आनी केन्ना न्याय मेवतली?
हें झूज सोंपतलें जेन्ना आमकां एक when we have good politicians and good leaders. कित्याक न्हू, आयज आमी पळय 3 linear प्रोजेक्ट आमी 2020 स्टार्ट केल्ले.
होय,
आमकां 3 linear प्रोजेक्ट नाका म्हणून. आतां आमचो सरकारान सांगलेलें कितें, इफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेज दॅट हें आमकां नाका, आमी बंद करतले.
करेक्ट.
आमी सगळे तयारी केले आनी सुप्रीम कोर्टान गेले. सुप्रीम कोर्टान तो प्रोजेक्ट मोले जो आसा तो ड्रॉप केलो. पूण सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑर्डर आतां सांगता की आमचो पळय एक्झिस्टींग ट्रॅक पळय आसा गोंयांत इज अंडर युटिलायज्ड. ती पयली फूल युटिलायज नात. सेकंड तो म्हणटा कितें वाय यू आर कमिंग हियर गोवा कांय बेनिफीट जायनात तूं कृष्णपट्टणम पोर्टान वच थिंगा डबल रेल्वे लायन आसा ती अंडर युटिलायज्ड आसा बट तुमकां तिसरी ट्रॅक बांदपा जाय जाल्यार थिंगा तिसरी ट्रॅक बांद नो प्रॉब्लम बट गोवा हॅव अ स्टीप ग्रेडियंट तुका गोंयान बांद इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू बिल्ड वेस्टर्न घाट आसा युनेस्को सायट आसा थिंगा तोरी सरकार जबरदस्ती जे पळय आयज काम चलता पळय आख्खें डबल ट्रॅकिंगाचें गोंयान हें जबरदस्ती फोर्सफूल एंटरिंग इंटू प्रायवेट प्रॉपर्टी with no acquisition, with no permission, with no consent, काय ना फोर्सान हे काम करता. It looks like a state is within the state. Railway is acting like a state within the state and doing whatever it wants in the state.
So you don't see any amicable solution coming for this in the near future?
Yeah, and that's what our party had promised, that they're going to drop three-linear project. But I think somewhere or another, the government has to listen, bow down to the voices of Goa. All successive governments in the state of Goa have bowed down to the opposition voices. If they are their main concern, if they are in love of Goa, or they have intention to save Goa, then they have to listen to the voices of the Goa. But आता कितें जाला, unfortunately सरकार आयकोना. But I am still hopeful कि sooner or later their mind will open up and they will see clearly, and this disastrous project, which is not in the interest of Goa, which is not in the interest of the health of Goa, which is not in the interest of the traditional communities of Goa, which is not generating any revenue to Goa, which is not generating any jobs to Goa, getting it to Goa doesn't make sense at all.
Olencio Bob, आमचो वेळ संपलो. One last question before I end this chat. What are your personal achievements from social activism, and are you happy when you look back at age 25 and now?
Yes, it has been a very long, tiring, hectic, and painful also, because sometimes when we take up the issues, taking up issue is not an easy task. First thing, you have to convince the people around you, that to fight for this cause, there is a meaning for this cause, why we need to fight, what are the implications, how this will damage you in the future. Resources, collecting resources is another huge hindrance. Going to a court is also another big hindrance, because you require a lot of resources for that.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, the effort what we put, I will say it's not of waste, because if that effort we didn't put, then I think the destruction would have been bad.
Things would have been bad.
Yeah, much more. And I'm somewhere happy that at least we managed to do something than nothing. Okay. So I am hopeful that we'll be able to do more also in the future.
Thank you very much,
so much.
Olencio Bob, for the time that we have spent here with us to give this interview. तर मोगा दिसतानी हे जावन आसलेत Olencio Simoes, a young and dynamic activist. He's also got political ambitions. What the future holds, only time will tell us. Whether he will continue his social activism with the same force and vigor, or whether he will jump on to the assembly, as I said, time will tell us. But nevertheless, we wish him all the very best to continue his activism for the betterment of Goa. Keep watching your favorite channel, the CCR TV channel. Thank you.